Good morning. My name is Clarence Williams, and this is another edition of Now and Then. Thank you so much for viewing this video. These are my thoughts, and I wish to share with you this morning a subject: the power of complaining. The power of complaining. It is said that to complain means to express dissatisfaction or annoyance about something. To be dissatisfied is a natural uh, emotion. We all get dissatisfied. We all get annoyed about something somewhere or sometimes in our lives, something that someone has said or something that someone has done upset us, or it we are dissatisfied about what has been said or what has been done. That's natural. That's natural. We do that. To complain has a power. It has a power. It has an outlet power to express one's dissatisfaction about what has been said, about what has been done. Sometimes just complaining about it cause us to feel better about ourselves. At least I said something. I was watching uh, the TV movie Good Times, and the Evans family was in a poor neighborhood in the projects. And in this particular episode, the heat was off in the building that they lived, no electricity. The elevator, they lived, I believe, on the seventh floor, and the elevator did not work. They had all kinds of problems just living in that apartment, and they were complaining. And the movie, the so short, uh, uh, the show started with them just complaining, and everybody was taking turns complaining, you know. But then Michael came in from the outside, and he was so excited because he had written an article, and he had sent that article to the newspaper, and the newspaper had published his complaint about the living conditions. And then once the Evans family found out what Michael had done, their complaint turned from complaining to being concerned about where they were going to live. Now they were okay about complaining, but they didn't want to do too much about it. But Michael stepped up, and he was doing something. He was taking action about the living conditions that they were living in. Isn't that the end results of complaining? We just complain, we complain, but we seldom take action. Why? Because taking actions costs something. It costs you to voice your opposition to a condition. However, complaining will never solve the problem. Complaining will never address the problem. And certainly, complaining will never fix the problem. It'll make you feel good, but it will never benefit the conditions in which you're living. Solving the problem will cost you something. Depending on the condition, addressing the problem will cost you the loss of a place to live, or it will create a better atmosphere where you live. One or the other. Either you will lose your place of living, or it will create a better place. At least you know where you stand now. if you do take actions, not if you just complain. Addressing the situation will cause the loss of a relationship. It may cause the loss of a friendship. It may cause the loss of a marriage, or it will better the relationship, the friendship. It will make the marital relationship stronger. It will do one of or the other. At least you will know what type of relationship that you are in. It is always better to stand up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, promoting positive self esteem. And if children are involved, it affects them positively when you stand up for yourself. Uh, Children are the product, some children are the product of what I would call generational curse, when their lives are greatly influenced by the poor living conditions that are accepted by their parents, when their lives are affected by the poor decisions that have been made by their parents. And usually, children benefit from knowing what has been done or what has been said. And if they are not strong enough when they get older, if they have low self esteem when they get older, they're going to repeat those same conditions. They're going to live in those same situations and think it is okay. The living arrangements were accepted by their parents, the poor living arrangements. Mama or daddy just accepting anything, just trying to get by. And children sometimes grow up and think that's norm. And so they accept those poor living arrangements. Wives being beaten, and so now young ladies being beaten. Wives being abused, and so young ladies being abused. Young men being abused, and so fathers being abused, and so now young men are being abused. Young fathers are stealing, and so now the young men are stealing. Young ladies are getting into bad situations because that's the way they were raised. They've seen it all their lives. We had one time the thing about babies having babies, you know, that could be a generational curse. Now, the Good Time show is set in a situation where the Evans family are they're poor. They could not do any better. They could not better their condition. However, they had strong family values. Yeah, they had strong family values. And even though the parents were not educated, they still wanted better for their children. They had good principles that they were still trying to instill in their children's lives. Based on the experience of life, they knew that if they complained, they were subject to be put out of their home, out of their apartment. And so they were fearful about complaining, about stepping up, but they still felt like they wanted to complain. And that is why so many just complain. Don't do too much about it, but complain because we are afraid of the costs associated with doing something about it. But what about those that take action for change? What about those that step up? Those that put themselves on the line? Those that say this is wrong? those that say this is not right or this is unjust. How about the whistleblowers? Those that are being punished because they had the courage to say something. Would Michael be in that category? He had the courage, young man, to say something about what he felt was not right, was unjust. And though he was not being punished from the establishment, from the management of the apartment complex, his parents sought to punish him. Even his father said, "You know, I'm gonna beat you, boy. You know, do you know what you've done?" You know, so we all have always have whistleblowers that step up and say something, try to enact change. How about Colin Kaepernick in football? All complained about the situation, about the inner city, and about blacks being killed, and about all of the injustice that was going on. But Colin Kaepernick made a decision. He was going to bow down. He made a decision. But now we are being the football players can pretty much do what they wish to do. But Colin Kaepernick is no longer in pro football. He made a decision. He stepped up, but now he's being punished for stepping up. He probably should have been put on a committee to discuss the change. But people don't want that. They want that particular person pushed aside and then get someone else that uh, complained but never had the courage to step up. And that's the person that they will put on a committee to discuss the change. How about the coach, Brian Flores, that just filed a complaint against the NFL and some football teams? Well, he probably would never be another coach. He probably will not be a coach in the football, in the pro football, not even in college football. But he stepped up. But then the NFL and college football and whomever will go and hire someone else, a black, to demonstrate that they are not like that. They are like that. But it took this coach stepping up and highlighting it instead of just complaining. And now they're going to go and do something. But where is he? I told you, complaining is one thing. But when you step up, it costs you something. How about Lieutenant Alexander Vindman? He was fired from his position on the National Security Council. He testified against the impeachment of then President Trump. He didn't have to do that. He could have been and did like everyone else. But he made a decision. And when you step up and make a decision, it's going to cost you something. He was fired. How about Golden Sorlin? He was fired as U.S. ambassador to the European Union. He made a decision, and all the rest that made a decision to testify to what they believe was true was ousted. Now, President Trump is no longer uh, in the presidency. But I don't see anyone going back and getting these people and trying to make their lives better. Now, I don't see that. It may be happening, but we don't see that. I don't see that. Why just leave them out there? They stepped up. And you asked them to step up. And they did step up. But now they're being blackballed. And we're still talking about he should have been impeached. And they are not the only ones. It goes on and on and on. Whistleblowers, it seems as though they are the ones that get the harsh punishment. And then everyone else benefits from it. To just complain keeps you safe, but to act for a change may or it will cost you something. How strong then is your convictions about what it is that you are complaining about? How strong is it? Is it strong enough to do something about it? Is it strong enough to let others know how you feel about it? If you just want to let off steam, then just do that. Just keep on complaining. However, if you want to change something, if you want to create a better condition for yourself, for your family, or for the world in which you live, then don't just complain, do something. My name is Clarence Williams. This is Now and Then. Thank you so much for your attention.